Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Elevate Your Customer Satisfaction, How to Improve Customer Satisfaction Across All Channels. I'm Katie Ryan, and I am the Senior Demand Generation Specialist here at SurveyMonkey, and we're joined by Ben Hameen Honorado, who is a Solutions Engineer at SurveyMonkey. And Ben has been working in the CX industry for a number of years, and he's been with SurveyMonkey for over 2 years and based in Amsterdam. And I'm based in Ireland. So what will we be covering today? Well, first of all, Ben is going to talk us through some basics for your CX program. What do you need to be doing to really accelerate your CX at your company? And then we'll move into a little bit more about customer satisfaction. What is it and why is it so important? And then we'll get to the meat of the webinar today, where Ben will talk us through the framework for really accelerating your CSAT and your CX program. Ask, listen, and act. Then we'll talk through some key takeaways for you to action from today. And we are live, so make sure that you pop your questions into our chat box down in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll get to them later on. And please let us know, how are you collecting customer satisfaction and feedback today? And maybe what are some of the key challenges that you're facing as an organization? We'd love to know more. So over to Ben to start us off.
Thank you, Katie. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you today to talk about CX and how SurveyMonkey can help you improve your CX programs. So, as most of you might be already aware, CX is the #1 untapped source to increase both revenue and decrease cost. So, having said that, a good CX program in first place, it needs to understand your customer. You need to know who your customer is. You need to know their buyer habits and optimize the relationship based on that. In second place, a good CX program needs to improve your brand and strengthen your relationship with your customers by optimizing it across all engagements. And in third place, it needs to spark continuous improvement of your product or services to keep meeting your customer expectations. And this is precisely where SurveyMonkey comes in, because we enable our clients, so that will be you, to do just that. So you can understand your customers by collecting insights and understanding what the pain points in the experience are, so you can make improvements or changes. So I will be taking you in a couple of minutes through the platform, and I will be showing you how SurveyMonkey can help you ask the right questions, listen to your customers where they are, and how you can act on that feedback.
So now that we have a little bit more of understanding of CX program basics, what are some of the most important metrics that you should focus on when trying to improve your CX and your customer satisfaction? We interviewed over 600 CX leaders this year, and we found that 50% of them highlighted CSAT as an important metric for their CX program. 48% of them are focusing on customer retention, and 38% of them focus on NPS. So we do dive a little bit deeper into these stats and how you can take advantage of them for your CX program. If you'd like a copy of this research guide, we do offer it on our website, but we can send it to you directly today. Put CX into the chat and we'll be able to send you a copy of this report so that you can dive a little bit deeper. So let me explain a little bit more about customer satisfaction. We are going to focus on this primarily today, but what does it mean? Well, CSAT stands for customer satisfaction. And what makes it different to other metrics like NPS is that it's really used for a specific interaction, so one moment in time. It is a shorter term measure of customer satisfaction, how they're feeling about your business, your product, service in that moment in time. And it's typically across a 5-point scale. So very unsatisfied, unsatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and very satisfied. Now, the benefits of using it in a CX program there's a couple of benefits, really. I mean, one is that it allows you to have detailed insights into a moment in time. So that could be after onboarding them, after a purchase, after interacting with a member of your customer support team. And really having that insight is important because it can mean that you can close a CX gap in any particular aspect of your product or service offering. Now, there are some limitations to that in that it doesn't really give you a broader overview of the brand loyalty or a customer's engagement with your brand over time. So it's important to really combine it with other metrics like NPS. So yeah, having discussed that, let's dive a little bit deeper into the SurveyMonkey platform. And I will hand it over now to Ben, who will show you how to ask, listen, and act to better improve your customer satisfaction.
Thank you, Katie. So I will start sharing my screen right now. I hope you can all see it right now. Yes, I believe so. Okay, perfect. So let's start. Let me take you through SurveyMonkey and let's see how SurveyMonkey can help you out, improving your CX programs. We have this kind of framework where we will be showing you how to ask the right questions, how to listen to your customers wherever they are across multiple channels, and how you can act on that feedback. So let's start with asking the right questions. Yeah. So in SurveyMonkey, there are multiple ways, to create a survey, but the one I would like to highlight today will be our templates. We have a library of pre-written templates which are made by our experts. That means that they come with the right set of questions and answers, and this is where we're putting our over 20 years of experience running surveys. So what does that mean? That these templates are ready to use and they come with the right set of questions that will give you meaningful results. Yeah, so if you're not so sure about the content or what to ask or how to ask, because that's also really important, don't worry about that. We have that covered, and you will see how with a couple of clicks you can have your survey, your CSAT program up and running. So I'm going to choose the customer satisfaction template, the main CSAT template that we have. One note, you will notice that some templates have this icon in here, with this blue and green bar. That means that these templates comes with benchmarks. Yeah, so this is again where we're putting, this is where we're collecting our millions and millions of surveys that we're running across different, industries and sectors. So you can compare your results with your industry or with any other industry of your choice. Yeah, I will be showing you that in a bit when we talk about the analytics. But just for you to keep in mind that we do offer a comprehensive list of benchmarks available. So I'm going to choose this customer satisfaction template. Of course, you can always preview the template to really see if it fits your needs or not. Don't worry about making changes to it, because any text can be edited or any question can be removed, or you can add any question. Yeah, so this is not like template that you need to use as it is. You can make changes to them, so don't worry. I'm going to click in use this template, and now I will be taken to the survey builder. Yeah, you can also see how the survey is completely branded to match the look and feel of my fake organization called Viverly. Of course, the SurveyMonkey branding can be hidden, so no one will know that this is a SurveyMonkey survey, and all the colors, backgrounds, fonts, everything can be changed to again brand your survey the way with your corporate branding, let's say. If I would like to add a question, because maybe there's something here that is really relevant for me to ask or to know about my customers, but it's not here, I can just go ahead and pick any of the available question types on the platform. Again, a really comprehensive list of them. And if you want to add a question, it's as easy as selecting it. You will drag your mouse, you will place the question wherever you would like to place it, and then you will drop your mouse and you will have to enter the question and the answer choices. But again, we will make it easier for you. This is also, we have an artificial intelligence engine running in the back that you just need to enter one keyword and we will suggest both a question with its answers. So I will go ahead and type just the word rate, and the system immediately is suggesting me 5 questions related to rating. I'm going to choose the second one. So how would you rate the quality of the service? I will click on it, And immediately, not just the question was immediately added, but also a scale with answers, from very high quality to very low quality. Maybe, I'm not that happy with the scale, so I can just go ahead and click on edit, and I can choose between, a list of pre-written answers, such as, maybe I would like a scale of agree, disagree, from strongly agree to strongly disagree, maybe satisfied, dissatisfied. Maybe I don't want this to be a scale of 5, but maybe I would like it to be a scale of 7 to have more options available, maybe a scale of 4, maybe just 2 or 3. That's completely up to you. Let's make it a scale of 4. I will click on save, and then the question will be added just like that. So again, we know which questions and answers work best. So that's why we always recommend, using one of our available resources. It doesn't matter if it's the templates or this artificial intelligence kind of guidance when you're creating your questions. And we also have, again, available, again, if again you're not so sure about what to ask and how to ask something, besides the template, we also have a question bank. They are also categorized by different use cases. So I'm going to choose the customer satisfaction one. So then you can browse through our, library of questions related to customer satisfaction. And we just not have the questions, but also the answers. Yeah. For example, how likely you're to use our product, and also you have the answers. And again, if you want to add any of these questions to your survey, again, drag and drop your mouse, place it, where you would like to place this question. I'm going to put it there, drop your mouse, add questions, and the questions will be added just like that. Yeah. So again, ask the right questions by using our templates and resources to make sure you're asking the right questions to get successful and meaningful results. All right. So now that we know how to ask the right questions, let's move to how to listen our customers and how to collect information from multiple channels. And to just to start with that, I would like you all to take a minute, take your phones out of your pockets, and scan the QR code that you see on screen, because this is one of the main channels during these days, which is precisely scanning a QR code, so you can survey people on the fly, inside a shop, or maybe in printed advertisements, for example, or in a voucher, when someone buys something. So I'm gonna give you a minute so you can scan the code and experience yourself the same experience that your customers will get while taking a survey with the mobiles. So already you might be noticing that the survey is super well looking, is adapted to the mobile phone. Also, we have this really nice format that you don't have to click or tap or do too many taps. You just, as soon as you provide one answer, immediately you will be taken to the next question, and so on. So yeah, this is what you're experiencing right now, is one of our main channels, which is precisely the QR codes, so you can survey your people on the fly wherever they are. We have multiple ways, so more ways for collecting responses or distributing the survey, let's say. One of them, which is kind of the most popular one or the most common one, will be a web link. So per survey, we can generate a URL. Again, you will notice that it doesn't say SurveyMonkey. We're using this research.net domain, which is more professional, more corporate. And this ID can also be customized, so you can write something else, that it's easier for your customers to understand what is the survey about, but that's completely up to you. And if you're using, for example, I don't know, if you will be sending a survey, on an email coming from your CRM, coming from Salesforce, coming from your ticketing systems, or coming, for example, from a marketing program, for a marketing campaign, if you would like to add a survey at the end of those emails, this is the way of distributing those surveys. And the really powerful feature with that is that if you will be sending, this link from a CRM, you can pass information from those systems into SurveyMonkey to identify respondents. So what do I mean with this? Here, I'm showing you, this is a real email, an actual email. This is the classical email when you call support to a company, and then, after interaction is finished, you get an email, right? Asking to rate the experience. So this is what this is. It's a regular email. You've seen this multiple times, I'm sure. But if I click on begin survey, you will notice that if you look closely at the address bar, I hope you're able to see this because it might be a bit small, but you will notice that you have the URL, so the public web link that I just talked about. But after that, we have two fields that have been passed from the CRM when that email was sent, which is the case number, the ticket number, and the contact ID. Yeah, so now when someone takes this survey response will be registered in SurveyMonkey with these two IDs, with the case ID and the contact ID. That means that when you're analyzing the results or when you're getting that response into SurveyMonkey, you will be able to map that response to an individual, or to a specific ticket number, or to a specific, I don't know, campaign, or to a specific product. So that will help you identify the respondents and then filter results just by filtering by those IDs. Yeah. So for example, you don't have to ask to your customers on the survey itself, in which shop did you buy our product? Or when was the time of your visit? Or which product did you buy? You don't need to ask that because you will be, making your respondent tired, and highly likely you will get not the best response rate. So you don't need to ask that because you can pass that information from your CRM or from your systems into SurveyMonkey. You can also use that to customize, customize the survey itself. So put the name of the person or the product or stuff like that. Okay, so moving forward with the platform, this is one way of collecting responses. Another one, which is pretty popular, in case, let's imagine that you don't want to send emails from your CRM or from your mailing platforms. SurveyMonkey can send those emails on your behalf. Yeah. So you can, create the email itself directly in the platform. We give you the chance of embedding the first question to get a good response rate. The SurveyMonkey branding can also be completely hidden. And we will be able to track those responses, and you will get access to a panel like this. So once, sorry. We're live, so mistakes can happen. I'm apologies for that. Here we go. So once the emails have been sent out, we will give you access to this dashboard where you will be able to see, out of all the emails that have been sent, how many have been opened, how many haven't been opened, and how many emails have bounced. And something extremely powerful is that we are also able to track, out of all the responses, who has taken the survey completely, so who has reached to the end of the survey, and also who has taken the survey partially, so who has left the survey halfway completed. And since we know this information, the platform is able to send reminders to people who haven't taken the survey at all, but also to people who left the survey halfway completed. So you can send an email, something like, hey, we sent you an email last week with a survey. We noticed that you didn't finish taking the survey completely. So would you be so nice to please finish the survey? And since each person will get a unique link on their emails, it doesn't matter where this person left the survey incomplete. As soon as they open the email again and they click on the link, the progress will be saved. So they don't have to start from scratch. This is pretty powerful if you would like to get, a good response rate. And, this is also pretty powerful in case if you would like to send surveys to your existing consumer base. Also, these emails can be sent right now, or it can be sent on a scheduled fashion. So they can be sent every month or every quarter or every week. So you can, see the trends and see if what you're doing in your company, in your programs, is having any effect. Yeah. And the last one that I would like to highlight today, another really popular channel, will be the website. So we will give you the chance of embedding your survey on your websites, and we give you 3 options of doing so. So the first one would be embedding the actual survey on your website. We will give you some options in here where you can, change the size a little bit of how the survey is going to be, or appearing on your website. Also, the SurveyMonkey branding can be hidden and all of that. And we will give you a piece of code that you will have to copy and paste on your website, and you don't have to do anything else. This is pretty powerful in case, for example, if you have an e-commerce or you have a web shop and you would like to survey your customer across different touch points. So, for example, you could place a survey at the beginning, when people are buying something, so you can ask if they found what they were looking for, or survey, hey, how's your survey, how's your purchase experience so far? How's it been going? And you could place maybe a different survey at the end. So, for example, when they have finished purchasing something. So, hey, how was your purchase experience today? Are you happy? I mean, how was the payment experience? Was all good? Blah blah blah, something like that. So you can also measure, which touch points are performing better than others, because it could be that you're getting a really good engagement and good results when they are browsing through your shop, but maybe after they buy something, they can give you a really bad rating because maybe the payment was not that great, or I don't know, the purchase experience in general was not as good as so that's also really powerful to measure different touch points. This is one way of embedding a survey on a website. The other one, really popular, I'm sure you've seen this pop up many times before in your lives in different websites. It will be a pop-up inviting people to take the survey. Of course, all text can be customized. The SurveyMonkey branding, again, can be hidden, the colors and all of that. And the last one will be, instead of a pop-up inviting them to take a survey, it will be the survey on an actual pop-up. Yeah, and again, kind of the same as what I explained before. We will just give you a piece of code that you will have to copy and paste on your website. All right, and we have some options also to play with the size and all of that. So now that we know how we can ask the right questions and how we can listen to our customers, let's see how we can act with the feedback that we have received so far. In terms of how we can close the loop, how we can, distribute all the views using dashboards, and how we can integrate with your existing applications so you can have the data in the apps that you're using on a daily basis. Right, so when it comes to the notifications, this is pretty powerful because you can set certain conditions. You can set certain conditions, and only the responses that match those conditions will send alerts or emails. This is, for example, let's imagine that if someone is giving me a really bad rating, it's rating this company with a 0, which is really bad, and this is coming from the shop, I don't know, that I have in London. If those conditions are met, then an email can be sent to the store manager of the store in London because something is going terribly bad. And since you will be notified immediately, you might be able to reach out to that customer immediately, see what went wrong, and try to increase, that customer satisfaction level, and try to change whatever went wrong. These emails can be sent to multiple recipients. Usually, it's intended for store managers or area managers or CX leaders or managers as well. And you can put as many conditions as you wish. And they cannot just be sent when something goes wrong, but also when something goes well. So if someone gave you a really positive feedback, maybe you would like to find out more about what the company did that well, and maybe if something goes wrong, you can also try to close the loop with this person and give them some voucher, or give them some discounts, things like that. When it comes to analyzing the results, that's pretty powerful. We have a pretty comprehensive BI platform integrated into SurveyMonkey, so you don't have to export your data and do any analysis outside SurveyMonkey. You can do it inside the platform really easily. So, for example, again, this is also powered by AI. We will be able to track the sentiment of open-ended questions. So when someone has to actually write a comment. So depending on the keywords, we will put a happy face. So for example, here, it's really great. I like the new colors, so automatically we put this happy face. I didn't know this feature, we will put a neutral face. But if someone is really angry, for example, ugh, I hate it, why did they change your logo? We will put an angry face, and that will help you identify, what are you doing great or what are you doing wrong. Of course, you will be able to filter by this. So if you click on the angry face, you will be able to see only the negative feedback. So you can take actions and see what went wrong. For any other type of questions, we will always show you always a graph and a table below with a number of responses that each of the options got. These graphs, of course, are fully customizable as well, so you can choose between showing your data with vertical bars, maybe horizontal bars, maybe a pie chart if that's easier for you to read, or maybe something like this where you can see a trend going up or down. And you remember that I told you about the benchmarks. Yeah, so this is where we can click on show benchmarks, and then I will see next to each other how my results on the left side are how am I performing in comparison to the benchmark that I chose. We have a really comprehensive list of benchmarks available, divided by markets, by industries, also by location. So you can choose, I don't know, you can see how you are performing in comparison to your same industry, or maybe with a different industry, or maybe with a specific market, which is pretty powerful. And again, this is all data coming from our millions and millions of surveys that our customers are running. And I can do the same for any result. So for example, for this one, how satisfied do you feel? I will click on show benchmarks, and then I can see how each option, answer option is being, responded in comparison to my chosen benchmark. When it comes to filtering results, also pretty powerful. You can filter by everything that you see here on the left side of the screen. So you can filter by any question or an answer. You can filter by channel, so you can also filter, show me only the responses coming from a QR code, show me only the responses coming from an email, for example. You can filter by time period. You can filter by custom variable, which is the data that I told you that you can pass from your CRMs or from your system. So here you could filter by shop ID, by country ID, product ID, maybe customer tier, all of that. You could filter by sentiment, so the happy, angry faces, and also by language. So we also support multilingual surveys in case you are, doing business in more than one market. And and of course you can apply multiple filters on top of each other, and any filter that you apply, that will be applied to the whole survey. So I don't know, show me only the people who are giving me low responses or a bad rating coming from London who bought this and this product. And then the system will show you only that. And if you have any average scores or NPS scores or stuff like that, everything will be recalculated to show you only the score or average only of that filter or those filters. We can also create directly here in the platform. We can create a comparison rule, also pretty powerful. We can compare by any question and answer, and we can also compare by collector, so by channel. So you can see next to each other which channel is performing better than others, for example. And just to show you what I mean, maybe I would like to see next to each other, how people are responding. People living in London, Paris, and Berlin and Amsterdam are answering each question from the survey. So then I can see next to each other at a glance to the first question. So at a glance, without doing any further analysis, without going out of SurveyMonkey, I can see at a glance that out of all my customers, definitely Paris is the one where I have my least satisfied customers, and in Berlin is where people seem to be more satisfied. So what is this telling me? That whatever I'm doing in Berlin, I need to replicate it in Paris and maybe in London, because this is where I'm having the lowest NPS score. Another example, I will hide the benchmarks again. How satisfied are you with our company or products? Again, at a glance, I can see that where I'm getting the most dissatisfied people, that will be in Berlin, and in Paris is where I'm getting the most satisfied people. Again, at a glance, without doing much analysis. If you need So this is kind of the overall general analysis of the platform, where you will be able to see all of the results. Yeah, so you're logging into the platform to see all the results, to filter data, slice and dice the data. But if you have the need at some point of distributing these results, and only with multiple stakeholders, and only distribute the results that are relevant for a specific store manager, or for a specific channel manager, or for a specific, I don't know, director, or someone who need to be looking at only some results, anything that you see on this previous page, you can put them into a dashboard. And these dashboards are fully customizable. You choose what to bring into a dashboard, and also all of these texts and all of that, you will build them yourself. So just to give an idea what I mean, here I have a dashboard where I'm seeing at a glance to my demographics. So, where is the age of my people, of my customers, and where are they based? At a glance, I'm looking at that in one single screen. Simple. I know who my customers are just by looking at this. Below that, I'm having next to each other, the NPS score overall that the whole company has, and how that NPS is being distributed, again, at a glance. But below that, maybe I would like to keep an eye on how my channels are performing. So for example, here I see the NPS and the satisfaction of people who bought something or took a survey on a web. Next to that, people who did the same but through a mobile, similar to what you just did when you scan the QR code. And how am I dealing with the in-store QR code? So asking people something on the fly. And again, I can see at a glance that out of all my channels, the one that's performing better is the QR code in store. It has the highest satisfaction and the highest NPS. So this is telling me again that I'm doing something super fine, super well in the stores, because people are super happy. But where I have the lowest satisfaction is on the mobile. So maybe I need to pay attention to the mobile, because something with the whole experience while people are browsing or shopping something on a mobile is not going that well. So again, this is how you can act on the results that you have just received. Maybe I would like to keep an eye. This is all a dashboard that I built myself. So maybe I would like to keep an eye on, over the last 7 days, over the last week, how my customers are feeling about. And I can see that most of them are feeling happy, which is positive. But again, I can do something to improve that happiness to be a higher percentage. And below that, maybe I would like to keep an eye next to each other, the positive feedback and the negative feedback. So again, I can see what am I doing great and what I'm not doing that great. And again, you can add text in here, and bring more and more tiles into this dashboard. And the really, really, really powerful thing about these dashboards is that they can be shared using a public URL, which can be password protected, of course, for extra security. But then, if you need to share these results or distribute them with stakeholders, with your managers, or anyone, you don't need to log into the platform or have them logging into the platform, or you don't need to be exporting results or creating a PowerPoint or creating an Excel, blah, 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 because you can just distribute or send them this link, and the results will be updated in real time as long as you have new responses coming in, which is extremely powerful. And, it will reduce time, because again, usually, with the way of distributing results, it's exporting a file, exporting an Excel, and sending an Excel through email. But that's so time consuming. You can just have that URL, send it across, and have them looking at this, and they will be updating in real time as long as you have new responses coming in. So pretty powerful way of publishing results and distributing results. And just to finish on the app part, we count with an app directory with more than 100 integrations or plugins. So you can have all of the data that you have collected. You can have it on the applications that you use on a daily basis. So if you're using Salesforce, for example, you can have all of the survey responses being pushed to Salesforce. If you're running marketing campaigns, you can also push data to Marketo, data about, your leads, or about, the emails that you have been sent out with the marketing campaigns. The same with HubSpot. We have an integration with Teams and another one with Zoom, which is really powerful because you would be able to survey your customers while you're having a meeting. So you could be, I don't know, running a meeting with a group of people, a group of customers, or an internal meeting, whatever, and you can survey all the attendees of that meeting directly there without exiting Teams or without exiting Zoom. Really powerful. If you're using Google Sheets, also all the results can go to a Google Sheets, Google Forms the same, and so on. Also, if you're using like external tools to, BI tools such as Power BI or Tableau, we also have integrations out of the box with both of them. So you can also, push all your results into Power BI or Tableau also to do a more comprehensive analysis and maybe merge it with data that you already have from different sources or data that you're getting from different places. And just to give you one simple example, this is an actual instance of Salesforce. I'm sure many of the people on this call are users of Salesforce. And this is a ticket. This is a normal case. So this is the normal ticket that someone opened because someone reached out, to this company. And once the ticket was solved, an email was sent. And then we can see here how the survey response of this particular person was pushed into Salesforce. So here I'm looking at, the whole survey response of this person. So I have the CSAT, the customer satisfaction score this person gave us, the NPS score, also the comment, the open-ended text that this person, entered, also the time when the survey was completed. And now this data, and of course, you choose what you would like to map or bring into Salesforce or push into Salesforce. And now that this data is living in Salesforce, because it's not, it is in SurveyMonkey, but now you also have it in Salesforce, you can again use it and merge it with data that you already have in your CRM about that particular customer, about that particular product, and create more reports or create dashboards, but inside Salesforce. Yeah, so basically, this is how you can act in the tools that you use on a daily basis with the collected feedback. All right, so to summarize a little bit what I just talked about, I just took you through, a journey through SurveyMonkey, and I show you how you can ask, or how SurveyMonkey can help you ask the right questions using our templates and our question banks and our available resources, how you can listen to your customers across multiple engagements or across multiple channels, and how you can act on that feedback and how you can analyze it to identify patterns and take actions, to improve your customer experience, improve your customer satisfaction levels, and drive better experiences at the end. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time. Now I will give the floor back to Katie.
Thank you so much, Ben. Before we head to the questions, we have a few questions in. I wanted to call out again our research. We have two very recent research papers. One of them is the ultimate guide to customer journey mapping. And that one I think would be very relevant to everyone attending today's webinar. If you would like that guide, please pop into the chat the word map and we will send that to you today. I see a few of you have already requested the State of CX guide, which is also very relevant. We shared some stats with you on that earlier. And if you would like that guide again, please pop the word CX into the chat. So don't forget as well, you can ask a few questions today. If you click on the button on the bottom, there is a chat button on the dashboard and you can answer or ask some questions. We'll get to them just in a few minutes. And first off, Ben, we have a question about offline mode. So is it possible to collect feedback if you are offline and not connected to the internet?
Absolutely. That's a really common use case for shops that don't have good internet connection, or especially events as well. So basically, we have an app which is called SurveyMonkey Anywhere that you can download either to a phone or to a tablet. This is most usually done in a tablet, that it's on the cashier or at the entrance of a particular shop or placed in things like that, but it's mostly used as a tablet. And this app, of course, needs to have at some point internet connection, so you can download the survey there. It will appear on a, it will be optimized for a tablet, and as soon as someone finishes one question, it will look back to the beginning, so the next responder can take the survey again. And we will be collecting all of these responses offline on the app. And at some point, you need to connect to the internet to upload all of these questions, all of these responses to the survey, and then they will be added to the survey as responses. So yeah, short question, yes, we do have that covered with an app.
That's great, thank you. And thank you for that question. Another question we have is, for each country, did you set up different collectors for the same survey?
That's up to you, but of course, one single survey can have multiple collectors. So one survey can have multiple web links, multiple emails, multiple QR codes, as you wish. And of course, if you have one collector or one link per country, then you can use that to filter responses. So absolutely yes, and that's a really common practice and a good practice, I would say. Having one web link or one collector per country or per market, so it's easier for you to analyze the results afterwards.
Great, that's great. I have another question as well. Can we initiate a survey based on a trigger action? Mm-hmm. Say if the customer makes an invoice with us, then send a survey to them.
Absolutely, and that's the whole idea of having SurveyMonkey integrated with your tool. So whatever system, so for Anya, who's asking that question, for whatever software that you're using, where you have that logic, so where you have that trigger, that system should be able to send an email once an invoice has been received, for example, because that's a logic that will be living on your system, because that's where you have all the invoice information living. So once you're getting an invoice, or when that trigger happens, that system should be able to send an email. And in that email, you need to include the web link. And again, that web link can have all of these custom variables, that's how we call it, which is the data that you can pass from that system into SurveyMonkey. So in this case, could be the invoice ID or the customer ID. So then when that person who from that invoice received that survey and that person took the survey, then on the system you will be able to identify the ID of that invoice. So then you will know that that response comes from that ID. And depending on the system that you're using, that ID will be the information that we will be using to map that response back into your system, Salesforce or any accounting system that you might be using, ERP maybe.
Great. Yeah, I think being able to pass the information across like that is so powerful for people to really help close any CX loops, and really up their CX in terms of the customer journey. We have another question from Gil. Is there anything you need to action for the multilingual surveys? Will results be consolidated in a chosen language, for example, English for us?
Is there anything you need to action for the multilingual? So, one survey, we do support multilingual surveys, of course, and you will have to, depending on the languages that you would like to have this survey, you will have to translate all the questions and all the answers to that desired language. Yeah, it's really simple to do. You just need to, load all the questions and all the texts. We prefer customers to do that because it's really prone to errors to do automatic translations. And then the language that will be shown on the surveys will depend on the language of the device of the person. Yeah, so if French is one of the languages that you loaded into the survey, and then you have a survey, respondent taking their survey from a computer or a cell phone that is in French, then French will be automatically displayed. Yeah, so that will depend on the language of the device, not really on location. So I could be in France, but if I have my system in English, the language will be shown in English. Yeah, just to be clear on that. And of course, also customers will have the chance of changing the language while they're taking the survey. There will be like a small drop-down menu on a corner. And of course, each response will have that language tag. So then you will be able to filter results by the language, because we will register on the platform the language that was used to take the survey. So you can also, create dashboards and filter results by that language. And I don't know, maybe bring that data to a dashboard and have all the French and English, responses next to each other. So that's absolutely possible. And also, a word cloud can be created per language. Yeah, so that's possible. If you would like more information on that, we're happy to schedule a demo with you where we can show you this more in detail. But short answer, yes, we do support multilingual surveys, and the only thing that you will have to do will be just adding the translations.
That's great. That's a really great question as well. For a lot of our participants today are from all across Europe, so it's really useful information. And yeah, like Ben said, if you are interested in learning a bit more, we've got the button ready to get started on the top left corner. If you click on that, you can schedule a demo today with us, and we can dive into anything else that you are interested in learning about for today's session. There's no more questions, but we just got a question in.
Yeah, there's a last question. So from Ananya. So can we do sentiment analysis for local languages like Dutch, French, etc.? So for the time being, sentiment analysis works only in English, but that's something that it's on the roadmap. Maybe by the end of next quarter or early first quarter of next year, we will have in place a new way of analyzing results, which is even way more powerful than what I just showed you. Here I'm anticipating things a little bit, but we will change the way we analyze results. And when that new feature will be deployed, we will be able to do sentiment analysis for all languages, not just main European languages, but also Chinese, Hebrew, Arabic, Japanese. And all of the responses, it doesn't matter the language where the comment was provided. We will translate everything into English. So we will consolidate all of the open-ended feedback into one single language. And we will apply all of the text analytics on top of that translation. But that's coming soon. Yeah, it's not ready yet, but it's on the roadmap. It's on the pipeline. That's already in a testing phase, so it's something that it's coming up for sure. But yeah, next quarter or first quarter of next year, we will have more powerful analytics yet when it comes to text and translations.
Awesome, that's great. Some insider information for you guys today. Cool. So if you guys have any more questions, we'll hang on for another minute. But yeah, just to remind you, today's webinar will be sent to you so you can watch it again. We'll also be sending you some further information and the guides if you requested them. And also, if you'd like to download today's slides, there is a button on the left-hand screen to download the deck, so you can have a look at that as well. And if you would like us to reach out to you with any other information, you can also click on the button again, ready to get started, on the top left. So yeah, if we don't have any more questions, I think we can leave it here. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. We hope you got a lot out of it. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with us, and we will be happy to dive deeper into anything that we discussed today. So thank you so much, guys, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. And thank you, Ben, as well, for such a great demo and webinar. Bye, guys. See you.